All right, let's get into some of the laws of blackjack and some of the statistics behind it. Now, as you may have noticed, as I gathered the cards that were in play here, I shuffled them off to the side. That's the discard pile right here. This is the deck that's still remaining. So we're going to play from this deck. So now think about the odds for a second. If all the cards that have come out are now no longer in play, doesn't that change what is it left to play? Yes. For example, say every single one of the aces has already come out into play and is now in the discard pile. Now there's no chance for blackjacks to come out right here. That can change the way you play from a face card. You know the dealer can't have blackjack, and you know that they cannot have the soft 17. This increases our favor in blackjack with the dealer. However, we can no longer get blackjacks, so we now know that. Also, if all of the face cards have come out into play and are not left in the deck right here, then we know when we take hits, we are a lot less likely to bust because lower cards remain. So that's going to increase our percentage of hitting on high hands like 15 or 16. That's when card counting comes in. Card counting is a very simple system that has sometimes been made more complex from movies or books. Card counting basically is just tracking the odds of the cards. So here I've got some laid out. I'll give you the values. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all +1. 7, 8, and 9 are all 0. And all of the faces and aces, which is 10 through ace, represented here, are all -1. So why are these values like that? Basically, each value is calculated when you see the card. So say we're dealing a hand and we see 2-7 versus 9-6. We want to keep a running count. So if I see a 2 and a 7, I think +1 and 0, so I'm still at +1. I think +1 with the 6, so I'm at +2, and then a 9 is also 0. If I take a hit and I see a king, now I'm going to think -1. So now you want to keep a running count of all the cards that come out. So I've got +1, 0, 0, +2, and then -1, so my total count now is at +1. That's all counting is. Pretty simple, right? So as the cards come out, now you want to be careful because some dealers are very fast and you could get too distracted by trying to count. So make sure you practice up your speed in counting to get very proficient, especially in a casino where things are very distracting. Alright, let's give another example. Say a lot of cards come out that are +1 cards. So a lot of these cards have been in play. So much that the total count is now +8. Now that can mean that some face cards have been played, but 8 more plus cards have been played than -1 cards. So our count's at +8. Now what does that mean? That means more low cards have come out. That means more high cards are left in the deck. Now is that good or bad? That is very good. When high cards are left in the deck, that is good for the player, signifying a positive count. So, why are high cards good? High cards are good because the player plays by different rules than the dealer does. When the dealer has anything over 11 but less than 17, they have to take a hit. If the count's really high, any face card will bust them. If the player sees they have a bust card and the count's high, we will not take a hit because we will likely bust. So we'll let the dealer bust and we'll just sit. We have the advantage of standing when the dealer does not. Now let's flip that. If the count is really low, we'll say -8, then that means more high cards have come out versus low cards. That means more low cards are left in the deck. Low cards are bad for the player, good for the dealer. Low cards make the dealer's hands. If the dealer's got a 14 and has to take a hit, and they take a low card, that gives them strong hands. It also reduces the number of blackjacks that the player gets. Another reason why high cards are better for the player is because of double downs and splits. The dealer can't do this. So this gives a player a big advantage because we can double our money when the odds are in our favor. So if I have 11 and say the count's very high, the odds are better that I'm going to get a face card and have 21. So I want to put all the money that I can out there for this setup. That's why we can make more money in the long run with a positive count. Now, you may know the odds of blackjack, it's around 49% when you're playing standard. So in the long run, if you play 1,000 hands at $1,000 total, then you're going to lose about 49% of the time. However, when we count cards, we increase our odds. With a very positive count, the odds can rise to about 51-52%. This doesn't seem like a lot, but in the long run, we'll make money.